All my pockets are made, so now I need to decide where to put them on here. And I've calculated to give the index card room to sit in here, that this is an equal division of where I'm going to place my pockets. So the first mark I'm going to make is 3/8 from the bottom of my insert. And I'm using a ruler like this, because if I would measure a 3/8 like this, see how the line is a little past 3/8? And this way it matches exactly that they're evening out. So this is 3/8 and a tiny little bit. The width of the pencil is added to that. So, and from there on, I'm measuring 1 1/8. So I have my ruler on the 1 1/8 line, and then I'm using my pencil line, which will make it 1 1/8 and a little bit, but not enough to make it 1 3/16. It's just a smidgen below that. So every time I'm using the width of my pencil more to make these measurements, and these are all equally divided. And you don't want to go any lower, because then you come below the rounded corner, and we're rounding the corners because it makes for easier entry in the pocket. Also, when you're making your marks, don't extend them all the way out, because sometimes they are noticeable on the sides. Turn your inserts to the back, and then on the left side, to make the place where the tabs are going to be, mark on 1 inch from the top, and my tabs end up being 1 inch across where they are stuck to the paper. On the second one, you're going to mark 2 1/4 for the next position, and 3 1/4, that needs to be 3 1/2. 3 1/2. And the last one is for 3/4, and I already got ahead of myself, and that one is already attached. So I'm going to glue the inside of the tab, and I'm going to make sure I can see the line. It moved. It moved. There. And this way you're going to attach all 4 tabs to your pages. Now the tabs are on. Now we can attach our pockets. Adding liquid glue. Do not use double-sided tape. Double-sided tape never dries, so when you want to stick something in a pocket that has double-sided tape all around, it might get stuck in there. So now we're using glue, and add a bit of glue to the outermost edge. Do not go in further, because your index recipe card will have less room to be inserted. And I see here that my bottom isn't straight. That's okay. You're not going to see that because it's being covered with another one. Line up your pockets. Make sure you cover the bottom line, the pencil line. It's not as important for the first 3 pockets, but for the 4th one it is. And also, this doesn't matter here, but if you're pick a straight edge for the top, for the bottom, that way you don't have to square up anything. I'm going to trim this one over here. A little bit is sticking out. Now we're grabbing the backs of it, and I'm going to use double-sided tape to put them together. Tip: if you want to line something up precisely, grab the opposite corners and match up the corners, and usually everything else lines up in place. Now, because I added some liquid glue. I can manipulate it a little bit to see if it's on, if it's not exactly on, but I think it's pretty good. And repeat for the other 4. Okay, so my stack of pages and inserts is already, and the envelopes are still loose. I will glue them once the book is together. So now I've kind of calculated the spine, and I'm going to go with a 1/2 inch space between each page. And to make the hidden hinge, I've got here all the measurements for scoring. The first score will be at 1 1/4 because we need a flap for this to go inside the cover. So 1 1/4. Next one is 1 5/8. My hinges are only 3/8 of an inch high because I don't want them to make a 1/2 inch, because then the inserts can't go as far in, right? Because then they will touch the hinge. So I'm going with 3/8 of a hinge. Now we're getting the hinge here, 1 5/8 and 2. Then we're going to get the spine, 1/2 inch, 2 1/2. The next hinge will be at 2 7/8 and 3 1/4. You got to really hold on to your paper because it's going to curl up, so you're going to lose the edge over here. So 3 3/4 is the next spine area. Then we're going to 4 1/8 and 4 1/2. 5. Oops, 5 3/8 and 5 3/4 and 7. We're going to cut here, and then we're going to fold everything over. So here's the first hinge. Now we'll place glue over here and we'll see if the pages fit. After I glued the spine together, I realized I forgot to tell you that you also have to score a 1/4 inch at the end and at the other end, because that will be part of the spine. Now this inch and that inch will be fastened to the cover, and we're gonna fold this over like this and like so. So my spine is 2 inch and maybe 1/8.